Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to Golden Grace. I'm so glad you're here with me today. You know, as women in our 50s, 60s, and beyond, we've lived through decades of fashion trends. We've seen the minis, the maxis, the shoulder pads, the bold prints. You name it, we've worn it. And every piece in our closet tells a little story of who we were at that moment. But here's the thing. As we grow wiser, our style grows with us. Sometimes what once made us feel fabulous now makes us feel dated or simply uncomfortable. And that's okay, because style isn't about chasing every trend anymore. It's about choosing what makes us feel confident, polished, and true to ourselves. So today, I want to share with you 10 things I'm officially letting go of. And just as important, what I'm replacing them with, to keep my wardrobe fresh and age-appropriate without ever losing elegance. But before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments below so we can see just how far our Golden Grace community stretches. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss a single style tip designed just for women like us. Trend number 1, saying goodbye to the shacket. Oh ladies, do you remember when the shacket was the hottest thing on the rack? Half shirt, half jacket, and supposedly the best of both worlds. I'll admit, I ordered one online in the prettiest colors, thinking it would be my new go-to. For a short season, I strutted around feeling quite trendy. But here's the truth. Now when I slip it on, it feels boxy, heavy, and somehow makes me look older than I really am. And let's be honest, at our age we don't need any extra help looking older, do we? These days, I've traded it in for lighter, more flattering options. A cropped tweed jacket with my favorite jeans, or a soft knit blazer that skims the body instead of swallowing it up. The difference is amazing. I feel polished without the weight, confident without the bulk. And isn't that what we all want at this stage? Clothes that lift us up instead of dragging us down. Trend number 2, the short stage. Now, speaking of things that once felt fun but no longer do, let's talk about those tiny shorts. Oh, I wore them proudly in my younger days, even well into my 50s. They were cute, they were cool in the summer heat, and I thought nothing of running errands in a pair with a simple tee. But now, with a little more wisdom and a little less patience for tugging at hems that creep up, I just don't feel the same. Our legs change as we age, the skin softens, the muscles don't hold the same tone, and comfort becomes more important than showing every inch. So these days, I've discovered the joy of longer shorts, 5-inch, 7-inch, even a nice Bermuda length. They don't just give me coverage, they give me confidence. I can walk, sit, and bend without fussing, and still feel stylish. Pair them with a breezy linen blouse or a lightweight cardigan, and suddenly I'm not just comfortable, I'm polished. And honestly, that's the kind of summer confidence we deserve. Don't you agree? Trend number 3, the tie front cardigan. You know, I used to think the tie front cardigan was the smartest little invention. I had them in 3 colors, and I loved how tying that bow at the waist made me feel like I still had that hourglass figure. For a while, it gave me such a boost, almost like a secret trick to look slimmer. But as time went on, I started noticing something. Instead of feeling modern, I felt, well, a little stuck in the past. The tie suddenly looked fussy, the shape dated, and instead of elegance, it whispered, "She's trying too hard." These days, I prefer pieces that don't fight with my figure. An open front cardigan that skims gracefully, or a shorter cropped style that frames the waist without any strings attached. They move with me instead of clinging, and they let me feel sophisticated without the extra fuss. At our age, we've earned the right to wear clothes that flatter us with ease. And isn't it wonderful when one simple switch can make us feel more confident in our own reflection? Trend number 4, the long duster cardigan with cutouts. Now let's talk about those long duster cardigans, the ones with all the little cutout details. Oh, I had a whole collection of them once upon a time. Back then, I felt stylish, almost dramatic, letting the fabric trail behind me as I walked. But somewhere along the way, I stopped reaching for them. In fact, I realized I hadn't worn one in years, and when I finally tried one back on, I caught myself in the mirror and thought, this doesn't look chic anymore, it just looks dated. The truth is, as we get older, too much fabric can overwhelm us. Instead of adding elegance, it can weigh us down and even make us appear shorter. That's why I've shifted toward pieces that feel lighter and more balanced, like hip-length cardigans or even a clean, minimalist vest. They still give me that layered look I love, but without drowning my frame. And ladies, isn't it funny how a small change in length can suddenly make us feel years younger, not older? Trend number 5. The Holly Hobby Bomber Jacket. Oh my friends, this one makes me smile, because I remember how excited I was when I first bought it. A bomber jacket with those playful colors, lavender mixed with avocado green. It felt fun, it felt retro, and it gave me a spark of energy when I slipped it on. For a while, I thought I had struck gold with that piece. But as time passed, every time I looked at it, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was wearing a costume instead of an outfit. What once felt fresh began to remind me of a decade I'd already lived through, and suddenly it just looked out of place. These days, I've learned that simplicity often serves us best. A bomber jacket in a solid cream, navy, or even soft camel still gives me that sporty edge, but in a way that feels timeless instead of dated. And sometimes, I'll even reach for a suede moto jacket when I want a little more attitude. It's sleek, modern, and works beautifully for women like us who want comfort without sacrificing style. Isn't it lovely when fashion grows with us instead of holding us back? Trend number 6, the skinny jeans. Alright ladies, take a deep breath because this one might sting a little. I know it did for me. For years, skinny jeans were my absolute go-to. They looked sharp, tucked into boots, they hugged all the right places, and honestly, they made me feel on trend. But recently, I realized something. Each time I pulled them on, instead of feeling confident, I caught myself tugging and adjusting, noticing how they clung a little too tightly to my hips and thighs. And let's be honest, as our bodies change with age, softer middles, fuller hips, comfort matters just as much as style. These days, I've happily made the switch to straight leg and gently flared cuts. They skim the body instead of squeezing it, and they balance out the figure beautifully. Paired with loafers or block-heeled boots, they create a long, elegant line that feels modern without being trendy. And the best part? I no longer dread sitting down in my jeans. It's such a relief to choose clothes that let us breathe, move, and still look fabulous. Trend number 7, the ruffled cardigan. Now let's have a little laugh together because I truly thought my ruffled cardigan was the cutest thing ever. I wore it proudly, thinking those little frills gave me a playful, feminine touch. And for a time, it did feel special, different from the plain sweaters I usually wore. But here's the reality, I haven't reached for that cardigan in years. When I tried it on recently, instead of feeling fresh, I felt fussy. The ruffles seemed to add years instead of taking them away. And that's not the effect I'm going for. What I've discovered is that texture can replace frills without overwhelming us. A ribbed knit, a subtle cable stitch, or even a soft metallic thread brings interest without screaming for attention. These details flatter us in a way that feels modern and effortless. And isn't that what we want now? To look stylish without trying too hard? To feel put together without spending all morning fussing in front of the mirror. That's the kind of beauty that feels truly ageless. Trend number 8, the swimsuit cover-up as a top. Oh my friends, this one brings back memories. I remember spotting a cute swimsuit cover-up and thinking, why not wear it as a tunic? So I layered it over a little tank top, paired it with skinny jeans, and strutted out the door feeling clever. And truthfully, for a while it worked. It gave me that flowy, carefree vibe. But as the years passed, the look started to feel less like a style choice and more like I'd just grabbed the wrong thing from the beach bag. Instead of looking intentional, it looked improvised. These days, I've learned that true confidence comes from pieces designed for our everyday lives. A crisp cotton popover, a gauzy linen tunic, or even an embroidered blouse gives me that same light and breezy feeling, but with polish. They're forgiving where we need forgiveness. They cover where we want coverage, and they still let us feel graceful in the summer heat. And isn't it so much better when our clothes feel like they're working with us, not against us? Trend number 9, the lug boots. Alright ladies, here's one that might ruffle a few feathers, the chunky lug boots. Now I'll be honest, these were never really mine. They belonged to my daughter, but I borrowed them a couple of times just to see what all the fuss was about. And let me tell you, the moment I looked down at my feet, I thought, nope, not for me. They felt heavy, clunky, and instead of making me feel stylish, they made me feel like I was stomping around in someone else's shoes, literally and figuratively. At this stage in life, I want footwear that makes me feel light on my feet, not weighed down. That's why I've moved towards sleek Chelsea boots, classic loafers, and even leather sneakers. They're chic, they're comfortable, and they go with just about everything in my closet. And the best part? I can walk with ease and still feel put together. Because really, our shoes should carry us gracefully through this season of life, not make us feel like we're dragging the past behind us. Closing. And there we have it, my friends. 9 pieces that once served me well, but no longer fit the woman I am today. Letting go isn't always easy because every garment carries a memory, a season, a story. But clearing space in our closets is also about clearing space in our lives for confidence, joy, and fresh beginnings. Fashion at our age isn't about chasing trends, it's about finding comfort, elegance, and clothes that make us shine. So tell me in the comments, which of these items are still hiding in your closet? I'd love to hear your stories. And if today's video inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to Golden Grace for more style tips made especially for women like us.